was trying to figure out if I would be able to switch from this to the mobile if the connection crashes again.
Hmm. It doesn't show live. I don't. You went to YouTube and did a create event, right?
Yeah, it shows down here. It says that I'm live. It says stop broadcasting.
Oh, weird. It doesn't say it on the phone. Well, whatever. As long as we're live.
Yeah.
Uh, okay. If you actually, well, let's just see how things go for now. Do you have the YouTube chat opened? I'm on mobile right now, so I can't really check the chat. I'm recharging my headphones.
Okay, hold on. Now, how do I do that again? I have to
Well,
open a new tab, right?
well, yeah. What you can do is open a new tab, and then go to your channel, and it should go to go to your channel, and it should be the video. You should see a video that says live now. You know what I mean?
Hold on,
That's
I'm refreshing. I'm refreshing it. Let me click on that one because that's the one that we're in. Okay. Um, do I click on view on watch page?
no, I don't think I've ever seen like hmm. No, you don't.
Because I'll click live stream because it shows on the bottom that I'm live right now.
Oh well, yeah, yeah. You should if you go to your channel, my channel. You should see the stream that's currently going on right now.
If I go to my channel. Okay, let me try that. Ugh, not my email, dude. Channel dashboard. Okay, so why am I not seeing it? Comments.
No, you need to go to videos. So like, if you click on my, if you go to YouTube, click on my channel, it should bring you to your channel, and you should on top you should see customized channel, or at the bottom, or like it says, or if you click on videos, there are various ways to find your like also if you look at the bottom. If you look at the bottom, right next to the there's like a little button you can click, and it gives you various links.
Okay, this is weird. I see the stream. It shows though that it's the visibility is public and that it's published. Should I click on the name of the link? Name of the video, see what pops up.
Yeah, you gotta click on the name of the name of this stream, so it'll open up with the chat, and make sure you mute it so it doesn't there's no echo.
Well, I'm not even seeing it. This is not like the last one. I'm just gonna close YouTube altogether and open a new one because that's what I had to do last time.
Okay,
All right, now,
what a time for my fucking headset to need charging.
now I'm on. Wait, I have to click it. That would help.
Why is it that I feel more tired now that I lost 40 pounds than when I did before?
I don't know. It's a good question. Okay, my channel. Yeah, it shows that it's live right now.
Yeah, so click that and see it. Well, I mean, I don't know if I don't know if people if people subscribed, but I did. I don't know. See if anyone's talking in the chat.
Okay, hold on. I'm scrolling down. Oh wait, I forgot. I had to go to live chat. No, nobody is. Nobody said anything. Nobody's here. I think I lost everybody.
Well, yeah, I mean, I suppose I could post I could mute really quick and just post a new link, a new watch link into some places that I know.
Yeah, if you want. I mean, it's
Yeah,
up to you. You don't have to. Or you don't want to.
yeah. Give me a sec. Just keep talking.
Okay. So I named this one Part 2. I hate technology for this exact reason. Only because I have full Wi-Fi service. There was no reason at all for the damn thing to crash the way that it did. But for whatever reason, everything just completely dropped out. It was kind of odd. The screen went gray, and then it told me that I had lost connection, which again doesn't make sense because I'm looking right at it. But this might be with Google, man, because this has been happening even on my phone. It's actually been equally as bad on my phone as it has been on here. Literally last night when I was in the one hangout, I think it booted me, no exaggeration, at least 6 times, maybe more. And then now, well, I figured let's, talking to Athena or whatever the hell he wants to call himself. Oh, dude, if you go on the laptop, man, it will solve all of your problems. You won't need to deal with this stuff anymore, and you can host your own show. Well, here we are, and problem is not fixed. Now, granted, I'm not really helping my case due to the fact that I just probably about an hour ago learned how to do this thing that we're doing right now because of Athena teaching me how to do it through a screen share, which reminds me, I need to do the cameraman thing, I think. Right? Is that it? Yeah, I think
Well,
so.
let's let's save it. Let's save the cameraman thing for when I'm on the PC when I'm on the PC. Like we really don't need it right now because the people I invited in, I added into the call are good people. You know what I mean? You don't have to worry about them. All right.
Okay. Oh shit! What was that? Hey, I just clicked on. I didn't click on something. I ran my mouse over something, and it said "Add app," but it just disappeared. Oh, okay. This is three little dots. Discover more apps for your video call. What the hell is that for?
Yeah, I don't know right now. It's just I guess to add more apps to like to add various things, but because Google Hangouts is up like the fucking old as hell, they don't really make anything anymore for them. You know what I mean? Like I think they're getting rid of. I don't know if they're getting rid of Hangouts next year, but there's gonna be a new system put in place. This
Oh,
I think.
that's fantastic. They can't even manage this one.
Uh, no shit.
There's going to be a brand new system in place. Everything is going to be amazing. It's going to be so good. It's unbelievable. You're not going to believe what we're going to be able to do. And then won't have a choice either because we're also hacking this thing to death to make sure that you're not able to go back to the old format just so that you have to be able to switch over. Hold on. Hey. Went off. Was looking for an account. I could. Oh, okay. I won't read that. Won't finish that sentence. Done it for years.
Right.
It always.
Say. Hello?
Yeah.
Well, who said what? Did Sabella say something you don't want to finish?
Yeah. I mean, I could finish it. It's not really. It was in terms of fishing,
I
baiting,
don't.
whatever.
Well,
Baiting.
yeah, that's she's trying to bait Jesus is Lord to come in here.
Right. But I didn't know if that was supposed to be put out there or not. So I didn't want to
Well, I
say
mean
that.
that.
But that's all right. Look, we
Yeah.
shouldn't have to bait this asshole to come in and have a goddamn conversation, in plain
Well,
English, man.
I mean, Kev, the guy doesn't want a plain ass conversation. He wants to preach to you. He wants to preach to you until you finally snap and be like, "Oh my God, I finally believe in Jesus. Thank you," or something. I don't know. He's a fucking idiot.
Dude, if for some reason I woke up tomorrow and I thought that Jesus was the way, I certainly would not credit it to a fucking YouTuber or whatever the hell he is.
Yeah, right.
Wild, man. Now, how do I add people? Do I just, I
You
mean,
need to add. See what you need to add people. You need to have people in your circles in order to add them. I already added a few people in. Is it
no,
this call?
I don't mean into the call. I mean in general.
Well, you need to go to somebody's profile if they have it, and then click on follow. You know what I mean? And hopefully they'll follow you back. But right now, all you have is me. You know what I mean? The next time you come into my hangout and there's people in there, you know what I mean? It's like you can look at their profile and follow. God damn it! Sorry, and follow them. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I feel dead inside.
Yeah,
Just like a
you and me
college
both,
student.
dude.
Just like a college student with debts.
It's
Okay.
wild. It's wild, man. It really is. Like, what has you feeling dead inside today?
Well, I'm mostly just tired, honestly. I don't know. I need to go to the gym tomorrow.
I hear that. Well, I was gonna bring up before. I was gonna bring up the mouse problem that we have going on here and how much I hate those fucking things.
I mean, I'm sure they hate you too, Kevin.
Dude, they're actually the worst part about it is that they're actually smart in the sense that you really can't get them the same way twice. Like we have one of those old school snap traps, the ones that can take half of your finger off,
Yeah.
and they ate the food off of that without triggering the trap. So these are some smart motherfuckers,
It
man.
kind of, yeah, it kind of reminds me of the movie Mousetrap. I think that was the movie, where these two guys inherit a house, but it's filled, but there's a mouse inside. That's basically Macaulay Culkin as a mouse.
Oh shit! I just watched him on Joe Rogan's podcast the other day.
Who, Macaulay Culkin?
Yeah,
Seriously? Wow.
I'm not bullshitting you, dude. He was on the podcast. I think he still looks the same, man. It's kind of weird to see him now because obviously the only other memory I have of him, like a lot of other people, is probably the Home Alone movies when he's a little kid running around his house setting up traps for Joe Pesci.
Pretty much. Didn't Joe Pesci die?
I hope not. I don't think so. The last I heard, he was supposed to be in a movie that Scorsese is making called The Irishman. I don't know. I know that it's based off a book, but I can't for the life of me remember the title of it at the
Wait,
moment.
didn't George Carlin make a joke where he was praying to Joe Pesci?
Yeah, when he talked about praying to the sun and also or no, he worshipped the sun and praised to Joe Pesci. And he found that by praying to Joe Pesci, about the same amount of prayers that he normally would send to God get answered about in the same rate. You know, when your neighbor is being a little bit too loud and you want to go and you need somebody to break their legs with a baseball bat, Joe Pesci is there for that.
I miss George Carlin.
He was the man, dude. You know, it sucks you're not a bigger comedy fan because I can't get into the conversation with you of who you think the greats are. Because, I mean, outside of George Carlin, what other comedians do you know?
Well, there's Carlos Mencia, who's a fucking idiot. I've met. There's Joe Rogan, no, not Chris Farley, Chris Rock. What the fuck is the guy's name? Andrew Dice Clay. Who else? I said Carlos Mencia
Well,
already. No.
you named a few more people that I didn't even know you knew. I mean, obviously, I knew that you knew who Mencia was, and you know who Rogan is, even though I just got done watching his last comedy special last week or whatever it was. I forget because of the podcast sometimes that he's actually a comic.
Yeah. Oh, fuck. Oh, I'm in pain.
Well, dude, if you want to get out of here, man, I don't want to hold you
No, it's
any.
not. It's not that I want to get out of here. I'm in pain, like my arm. This is what I get for being overweight.
Well, dude, if we're gonna talk about it, I mean, we might as well talk about it, right? I mean, look, you're not doing yourself any favors. You already know that as well as I do. And I'm not a doctor, bro. With ROC or whoever the hell that guy is.
RSC.
Oh yeah, him. Get him in here. Maybe you can talk to him. I mean, I think that maybe those pains are kind of like the body sending a warning shot out. Like, dude, if you don't do some shit about this, we're not going to be able to continue to keep this up.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. There's like pain in my arm. I think my muscles are sore. I've always had problem with this arm. What in the
Where in the arm is it?
like in the shoulder, the joints, everything. God damn it.
Do you find yourself doing a lot of repetitive movement with that specific arm?
No, but it seems like I have like shakes or something. You know, like maybe like my arms.
Is it both of them or just one?
Well, it's both. It's more the left than the right. I mean, they like. Fuck.
Oh, so it's spazzing, or it's just pain.
Yeah, what the fuck? I have pain all over the fucking place.
Out of nowhere?
I mean, this more today I did take a vitamin D supplement. I wonder, do those expire?
I'm sure they do. I mean, I think everything expires.
Well, I mean, there is that myth, that myth that they always say, oh, people, you know, people, there are some things that they put expiration date on just to sell them more, which makes sense, but it doesn't apply to everything.
Well, from what I understand, New Jersey passed a law back in the 60s to make sure that everything had an expiration date on it so that people weren't buying spoiled food, but they literally slap an expiration date on everything, including water. Next time you go to the store or when a case of water is brought back to your house, look on the top of the case, dude, and you'll see an expiration date on there.
And yeah, that's pretty retarded.
I mean, it is and it isn't. I mean, I guess it's better off for them to just throw a label on everything than to not have a label on anything. But then, if we're going to go down that road, I would argue then what is the sense of having expiration dates on things? And you would say, well, we want to protect people from buying things that are not good anymore. Well, then to the flip side to that is then why do you allow places like GNC to sell shit, and not even just GNC, will also go into all of these vape shops that are popping up all over the fucking place. I don't know where anybody who listens to this might live. Obviously, that was a real useless thought I just had. But anyway, if you notice a lot out, I'm sure even in places like California they might have this, but in Jersey specifically, and I only speak of that because that's where I live. I don't go anywhere else on a regular basis. But you see a lot of these vape shops popping up all over the county, and they say, "Oh, we have things that this is CBD oil." Or CBD pills or CBD rub or whatever, but you don't really know what exactly is in that shit. And I connect that to the other thing that I was saying, to the sense that you go out of your way to make these labels, but yet at the same time, you allow companies to sell quote unquote herbs and throw them out in the
Yeah.
market and call something a vitamin, or say that you can use it for protein or whatever. You have no idea what the hell is in there, and there really is no regulation to any of it.
Yeah, dude, I don't know. It's fucking nuts. I understand. I suppose on certain things I can. I don't know. To me it's like an expiration date on milk. Okay, fine, that makes sense. But an expiration date on water. I mean, what?
Yeah, no, I understand that, but again, it's the same thing, dude. I guess they're just doing it to. I mean, it would make sense if they said, "All right, this date is when your water was bottled." That would kind of make a little bit more sense. I think it would be kind of
Yeah,
interesting if they did that, but I don't know if that's what the purpose of it is.
yeah.
But I
Hey, I'm
mean,
gonna be I'm gonna be right back. You keep talking.
okay, I mean, I don't know if that's what the purpose of it is, but that would be cool if they did shit like that. But anyway, to get back to what I was just talking about, you see a lot of these stores popping up and they're selling shit. And this is just an example. You can go and name a lot of other different products that are like this. Maybe, for example, fish oil or something like that. But you really have no idea what the hell is in any of this shit, dude. Like, I go to a vape shop and I saw there were things that were supposed to be CBD. I bought into it for a little while until I actually did my research because I'm backwards, and I figured out that they can slap that label on there, and it doesn't have to be. It could be nothing. You could be eating air essentially, or smoking air. and they can get away with doing it, and there's not a damn thing that you can do about it other than not buy it. But unfortunately, a lot of people do buy it, and they don't really do research on it. And I mean, I guess to a certain degree, when you walk, if you've been shopping at a place for a certain amount of time, I guess you develop a relationship with the people who work in there, so you might not have as much of a guard up as you normally would in other places. But like, if a stranger walked up to you off of the street and said, "Hey, man, I have some of this CBD shit. You should really try it out. It's supposed to be really good." Hold on, I got a cough. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I'm
Uh,
good.
okay, cool. Sometimes I feel like it's strange, dude. Now I kind of understand what Bill Burr goes through when he makes his podcast. Not that I'm in any way trying to compare myself to Bill Burr, but you're essentially talking to air, trying to fill a certain amount of time, and then people listen to it later. Well, I mean, at least with his, it's guaranteed to be listened to later, whereas this, not so much. But I mean, not like it really matters, but it is kind of odd to have to try to keep a conversation going with yourself.
Well, true, but there are some people who are able to do it. Like you have to build yourself up. You know what I mean? What the hell do you think I did? I mean, yeah, the channel I had before was at like 321. Before I nuked it, I forgot this how much this one has. You know what I mean?
But right now, you mean like subscribers?
Yeah.
Hmm. And
You know,
then how long? You haven't had this channel for very long, have you?
no, like maybe a few months, but I already have like 69, or maybe a little more than that. I forget right now.
But then
Well,
again, I mean, you do streams all the time.
yeah, also do want to start doing videos too, but I want to wait until I'm better, I guess, equipped for it. Lost a little more weight. You know what I mean?
Well, what would you do videos about? I know that we've talked about this privately, but since we're on this subject, man, I'm kind of curious. I mean, I know that I mentioned before playing GTA, and I would put some of the gameplay up if I could figure out how to do that, just because I think people would enjoy laughing at me. But outside of that, what are some of the things you would like to make videos about?
Well, I don't know. Maybe videos on science, videos on science, on like educational stuff, or responding to somebody, or just like I don't know, just content. I guess responding to somebody, educational videos. Hmm. On the old channel, I did do some plays. I did do some let's plays. I did play some games on the old channel.
Now, I would ask you, how do you do something like that? But just give me 2 seconds. I'll be right back, and then I want to get into that a little bit, if that's all right with you, and then
Yeah,
maybe discuss some ideas for videos in the future. Because I mean, since this is, I really is part two of the first stream before it crashed out. But I think maybe this would be something healthy for me to do to not drive myself fucking bananas, and I can get into a little bit of the background of that for anybody that may be interested. If not, feel free to tell me to go fuck myself. Either way, I don't give a shit.
Uh, okay, Kev, go fuck yourself. There you go. So it's just me, I suppose, here. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I am nothing more than a collection of atoms just existing in this crazy world or universe we find ourselves in. Life is pain, and pain is funny. Well, but it can be, I suppose. I know.
Okay.
So yeah, welcome back. By the way, those pills expire the 21st, like 2021.
Hmm. Okay. You know what's fucked up, dude? Well, not fucked up. I shouldn't say that. What would be interesting, man, is if we had a chemical set. And I don't know the technical terms of shit or what things are really supposed to be called because I'm a dumbass. So before anybody tries to correct me in a douchey kind of a way, save your finger strength. You're not going to make any bit of a difference to me, dude. I mean, I'm a fucking idiot. So just strap in. It's not gonna go up from here. But like what I was gonna say was, if we had the ability to take those pills apart and drop them into some kind of machine and be able to figure out what are actually inside of these things.
Well, yeah, but they do have machines for that. Like it's got, I think it's called a spectrometer, but they're expensive as fuck, and I'm pretty sure you need schooling to know how to use the damn thing. Like so, yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think it would be good if we would be able to figure out shit at home. But as I say that, I realize companies probably don't want that to happen. I can see your fingers.
Yeah, I'm a little bored. I don't know.
Oh,
No,
cool,
no, no,
man. That's
no, no,
so
no,
nice of
no.
you to say.
Yeah, dude, I misspoke. Okay,
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Dude, I've
I
known you for listen. Don't get mad. I've known you for 20 years, dude. Okay? This is not breakthrough shit. This is pretty boring in and of itself. I'm not mad at you for it. I mean, honestly, it is what it is. Short of wiggling your dick at the camera, I don't give a shit.
I just feel bad I said that.
Don't. Don't feel why. It's a waste of guilt, man. Save it for the shit that really matters.
I mean, fine, fair enough, but you're trying to you're trying to like do something to forget shit, and I'm like, I don't know. I feel like
Oh,
a
but
bad
yeah, I
friend
know, I know,
sometimes.
I know, no, I get it. Like, oh man, my life sucks right now. I need to do something to get out of my head. Hey man, you want to help me make a hangout thing so I can, get out of my brain a little bit? Sure, dude, I'll help you. Man, I am fucking bored.
Oh, you put it like that is pretty humorous.
I mean, dude, I can't even be mad at you, man. This is like this podcast, live stream, whatever it would be called, is the equivalent to watching paint dry. And I know that a lot of people say, "Oh, I would rather do this thing than watch flies fuck." And I have to say, I did watch flies fuck the other day for the first time ever in my life, and it is kind of interesting.
How in the fuck did you do? And like, go to that story. What do you mean you saw flies fuck? Right? What?
Okay, so I'm doing what I normally do in my awesome day to day life, which is wasting away doing nothing. I'm sitting on my deck outside, dude, and I see these two flies that are chasing each other around, and when they got bored with me, kind of like you did.
Fuck you.
Yeah, sorry. I had to throw that in there. I guess when they got bored with me, they started chasing each other around, and I thought that they were gonna fight. So in my dumb brain, I'm like, oh, this should be cool. Let's see two flies fight to the death or whatever it is that flies do. And that was not what was happening at all. Apparently, a male was chasing around a female, maybe two dudes if they get freaky, who knows? I'm not a fly. I don't know how these things happen. But either way, they landed down on the table, and I literally watched one climb up on the other and start humping it. So essentially it was like doggy style for people,
Are
except it
you
was
serious? Are you serious? I'm sure the flies look at you and be like, yeah, yeah, you like watching us fuck, right? I can just imagine that fly just looking at you, staring back at you, and be like, yeah, this is happening.
dude. I mean, maybe it is. Maybe they were. I don't know what they call those people. Not. I would be the voyeur.
Exhibitionist?
Exhibitionist. That's what it is. Maybe they're exhibitionist flies and they wanted somebody to watch them. Which, on this subject, I wish that I would be able to play it on here without getting booted. Anybody that has Sirius XM, if you have never heard of it, there's a show on Comedy Central Radio, Sirius XM. I think it's channel 99. I might be wrong. I'm a dickhead because I've been listening to this show for 4 years. I should know what fucking station it's on. But talking about flies fucking brings me to this next thing where one of the dudes, a comic by the name of Big J Okerson, who also there's a second comic on the show, Dan Soder, both of which are very funny fucking dudes. If you want to, you can actually go hit Netflix right now since we're not really talking about shit anyway. Or maybe when you're bored later on and you have nothing else to do or you feel like watching some comedy, you can check out Big J's half-hour special on the Degenerates that just came out in October 30th, I think it dropped on Netflix. And then Dan Soder has a half-hour special on the stand-ups. Both of those are with a bunch of other comedians who dropped. I mean, the names on the Degenerates, which Big J is on, are people that I'm more familiar with than the other one. But those two guys do a radio show together called The Bonfire. So on the show, Big J brought up a website called World Star. I don't know how familiar you are with that. Do you know
I
what World Star is?
no, I don't.
Okay, neither do I. Apparently, it's a bunch of people who put up videos. It's like YouTube, but for black people. I mean, that might sound terrible, but from the descriptions I've got of what it is,
I
that
mean,
seems to be a large part of it.
they do. They already do have BET.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, I don't know. I would have to get somebody in that world to be able to talk to me a little bit about the different, like, is BEC actually a representation of the community? Do they feel like it is? But before I get completely sidetracked, there's an uncut version of the World Star website where um this girl was getting titty fucked and they posted the video up on World Star. I don't know if the guy did or she did, but it was one of the funniest slash enraging things I've ever heard in my life, dude. Like, she's laying there and the whole video she's like, all right, come on, bro. Like, in other words, like, come already, I'm done with this. It gets to a point where she's like, all right, let me up. Let me up, dude. I will punch you in your fucking face. I'm not playing. And while this guy is trying to do his business, you can hear him muttering to himself, like, oh, this is a nightmare. The way that those two guys break it down is really funny. But since we were on the subject of flies fucking, I thought that I would throw that in there if you wanted to go check that out. Anybody that comes across this.
That's funny.
It is, but I just did a horrible job with the way, because you have to hear the audio of it to really do it justice. Like, I can't even begin to do it justice at all. But it was really good. But I mean, I know that I brought up comedians a little while ago, and you know, there are a lot of comics out there, dude, who I think are pretty good. Joey Diaz is definitely on the list of top comics that I have. Carlin, obviously. Richard Pryor is a funny dude from what I've heard of his comedy so far. I mean, I would put him up there with one of the greats just because of the content that he was doing at the time. Nobody was really doing that. Paul Mooney is another really funny dude.
Hello?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I'm just walking around.
I know, it's weird, man. Being here on the laptop, not on my phone, it's kind of strange to just sit in one spot, not get up and move around.
Yeah,
I mean, I suppose I could, but
well, I mean, it's also weird to be on the other side. Like, okay, I'm in your stream now, you're not in mine.
I know, man, you created a monster. But you know what? Real quick, since since we just kind of touched up on it, let me jump back into that so I don't bore everybody with comedian talk, since there's nobody else really here to interject on who they like and things of that nature. So you brought up before that you would make science videos and shit like that. That obviously is completely out of my wheelhouse, dude. I wouldn't be able to do anything like that. But as far as making,
you don't give yourself enough credit.
well, I mean, dude, science is definitely one of those things that is really difficult to understand, at least for me. Outside of basic math and apparently speaking English, I'll throw that on the list as well.
I don't know, dude. I mean, if you really, obviously, you're never really in a position to actually, sit down and study because you're more worried about what the fuck's gonna happen tomorrow with the house rather than being financially secure. So I can't fault you too much.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. I mean, on the other end of it, though, I would really have to be interested in something to really sit down and want to read about it and learn about it. And also, I would want to find, and this is gonna sound wild when I say this, but I would want to find a way to incorporate it in my day-to-day life. Like, just as an example, with the holiday coming up, you know, I can go on YouTube and I can pull up a video on how to prep a turkey and do all kinds of shit like that. And I can see a purpose for doing that because I would be, which I'm actually going to have to do just because this is going to be the first year that we're doing it at our house and we're not going to a relative's place. But that's at least, go ahead.
Well, no, I was just gonna say, yeah, you want to learn something practical. You could use it in real life. Okay, fine, fair enough. But here's the thing. Like I don't know. To me, I always the that okay. You want to do something practical, yes, but sometimes sometimes learning a lot of stuff will actually open new ways of ways of being practical. You know what I mean? Like when we think about practical, okay, you're thinking of practical, like in everyday terms. You know what I mean? Like I don't know how to explain it, but
Yeah, like day-to-day terms, things that I can, like, for example, if I tried to sit down and read a book on quantum physics, which would never fucking happen.
oh, it will. It will. I'll make sure of it.
Well, only because, dude, that's like speaking a second language to me, but I don't see how I'd be able to take something like that and apply it to my
But
day-to-day
that,
life.
yeah, but that's see that's just it. A lot of people just don't see how to apply it. But I don't know. For me, it's like I learn it. The application will appear itself. Like I don't know. Honestly, I don't know how to explain it to you. I have this idea in my head that I would convey, but I can't put it into words. I fucking hate it.
Well, I think you just did. You said that in your world you feel like the thing that you learn about, an opportunity will eventually present itself for you to be able to apply whatever it is that you're learning.
Oh yeah, yeah. There you go. Because I mean, like think. Okay, look. This this is going to be a an extreme example. Okay, just an extreme extreme example. Say you found yourself being kidnapped by, I don't know, a fucking African warlord or something. You know what I mean? You're in a cage or something, but before that happened, you learned, you learned about, there's certain plants in Africa that that when combined will fucking explode. You combine it with water or something, they explode. There's a way to escape. I mean, again, I know it's a fucking bizarre and exaggerated example, but you know what I mean?
No, that idea makes sense in the sense that, well, the problem is I never know what I'm going to. Like, I would look more into the realm of if the car, if we're driving over a bridge and for whatever reason, if the bridge breaks or somehow we go over the other side of it and we're falling and we're about to go into the ocean or a body of water, I would think it would be useful to know what I could use and how I would be able to break the windows open so that I would be able to get out if I needed to. But I mean, I guess you could see it as somebody would argue that the odds you would need to know something like that are not really practical.
Well, I don't know, dude. I mean, we're just talking, but for me, yeah, practical is fine, but it's like, I don't know. Like, I'm just me at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
That is a cop out
I
thing to
know it's a
say,
cop
though.
out. I apologize. Like again, I've realized it's the whole thing of being practical, but does it, does what about learning law? That's you could use that in everyday life.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could. It would be good to know. It would be good to know how to how to be able to interact with a police officer. That would be something that. But then again, you could have somebody saying, well, what is the point of doing that? I don't do anything wrong. Yeah, but
But
here's the
that's
thing
not
that
the point. Yeah, that's not the point though. Just because like understanding the law of your country and your city would allow you to better navigate through through it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, there's that, and then there's also like, dude, a lot of people don't understand even getting pulled over, even getting pulled over by a cop. You didn't kill anybody. You didn't break any serious laws, but it is very easy to incriminate yourself without even realizing it. Like, I think people, as soon as you say you're speeding, you get pulled over. Do you know why I pulled you over? Oh yeah, I was going a little bit over the speed limit. Oh no, actually, the reason why I pulled you over is because your tail light is out, but now I'm also going to give you a ticket for speeding.
yeah, you might, yeah, in that scenario, you should have been like, is there a problem, officer? And have the officer tell you, not tell you yourself. Otherwise, you know.
There's that, and then the run-ins that I've had with police here. Like, I don't know about everybody else, dude, but maybe it's the neighborhood that I originally come from before I moved here, or the slight trouble that I got into with the law. Like, it wasn't anything too serious, but I'm always, even before I got into any kind of trouble, was always nervous around cops because not been a lot of people think if I'm not doing anything wrong, I have nothing to worry about. The way that I see it is this motherfucker has all the power in the world, man. He could do anything that he wants to me, and there's not a damn thing that I can do about it. Nothing. I am powerless because at the end, nobody is going to believe a citizen over a cop. It's just not going to happen ever. And if anybody does happen to believe you, it might be a friend, but then you get into that whole situation where, I mean, maybe again, maybe this is just the friends that I have, but then you're being interrogated by your fucking friends.
I mean, yeah, I'm sure your friends will question you, but that's not really an interrogation. They just want to know what the fuck, like what do you mean? You know what I mean? Like,
Like, okay, here's an example of what I'm talking about. For the people who don't know, I got arrested several years ago. We're actually going on 13 years ago now.
oh
I
wow,
got Yeah, it's been a long time, dude, but to me it feels like it just happened yesterday.
dude, I've lost track of time. So wow.
I got arrested for weed. Okay, not a huge deal. Could have been way bigger, could have been way smaller. Either way, it is what it is. So I get arrested. They throw me into the box. They're trying to get me to flip on somebody. Where did you get it from? You know, shit like that. So, just to go into it a little bit, I wouldn't give anybody up just because it's not the right thing to do. I got myself into a fucking problem. I'm going to see myself out of the fucking problem. Even if that means that I do have to go to jail and face time, it is what it is. Why should I throw somebody else into a why should I hand a problem to somebody else that I don't want so I can get out of it? Seems extremely selfish. But anyway, coming out of that,
Yeah, I'll be right back. Kev. Continue.
okay. When I got out of that, I posted bail with the help of a few people that I know who were able to sign the paperwork and get the deal done until I could be arraigned for my court date and do all the fun stuff that goes along with being arrested, like probation and shit like that, which I can get into that in a second. But what I meant before by saying that you get interrogated by your friends was when as soon as you get arrested, or at least I should say as soon as I got arrested, everybody around me was worried as if I was going to say something, even though they really weren't even doing anything. I knew people that smoked weed here and there. There was nothing actually going on. Nobody was a big time dealer. Nothing was actually happening. But everybody is just so paranoid that they're going to get in trouble that it became an interrogation from people that I knew. Oh, like when you were in there, so what did they ask you? Oh, they asked me who did I get the weed from? Oh, what did you tell them? I told them that I just had it, that it was mine. Well, you had to get it from somewhere, so who did you get it from? And I actually was like, I ran into a random dude on Route 9, which is a main way around where I live. And I said that I bumped into him and I bought it off of him there. So like we find that really hard to believe that you just bought weed off of a stranger that you ran into on the street. I'm like, well, that's how this shit goes, man. What do you want me to tell you? They're
How is
like,
that hard to believe? Like, you just met a stranger that okay. Why?
like to
Why is that?
them to them they say it's hard to believe because they in their minds right now they have it built up in their heads that I was a nickel and dimer. When I got arrested with 3 grams of weed. For people out there that don't really know drug math, that is extremely low. When you get into charges, if we're talking weed charges only, typically the way that it works is 50 grams and under is a misdemeanor, and I think then anything above that can be a felony, I guess, depending on how much you have, whether or not you are growing it yourself, because then that's a whole nother charge that becomes manufacturing. There's a lot that goes into it, but 3 grams of weed is nothing. The way that I would explain it is each gram could probably break out to 2 decent joints. So you figure I was caught with 6 joints when you break it down. But to these people, apparently what had happened was I found out later that a bunch of people had ratted me out. In the place where I was living at the time, there was a guy that lived across the street from me. I won't mention his name, but who had just gotten his girlfriend pregnant. He was selling weed and apparently he got caught somehow. I don't know when, I don't know where, and I don't know how because I didn't see it happen. But either way, he got caught. So the first thing he did was drop my name, said that he got the weed from me. And the reason why he did that was because obviously nobody out there knows who I am, but you're gonna drop my name because you know I'm not really gonna do anything to you. Unfortunately for me, I'm sympathetic to the fact that this guy is about to have a kid and his world is about to be over if he doesn't figure something out. I still think there's a really shitty thing for him to do. And me personally is not something that I would be able to do because I wouldn't be able to sleep at night. But that's just me personally. I'm not somebody who is able to throw other people under the bus for my own gain. Was not raised to be that way. But, it's a long winded way of saying while I'm in the interrogation room, unbeknownst to me, these guys from what I guess other people have told them, are under the impression that I have some kind of big connection, which is hilarious if you think about it, because it was only 3 grams that they got me for. To which the cop who was interrogating me argued that, well, that's what we caught you with. We don't know how much you had earlier in the week or even in the month. We just happened to catch you at a time before you went out and bought more. That was his argument. So for you to say that you just bumped into a random stranger and that guy said, "Hey man, do you want to buy some weed?" We don't believe that. Which ironically is sometimes that is how it happens, but that's a good way to get yourself in trouble.
Yeah.
So, that's what it was, man. They thought that I was bigger than I was. He actually said to me, "So, if I handed you that phone right now, you wouldn't be able to pick it up and call somebody to make a deal to get something." Like, no, dude, bring me to the fucking jail. Nothing is going to come of this, man. I don't know anything. I don't have any information that you want. Let's just get it done and over with and bring me to where I have to go and let's be done with this shit.
Can I
And
just...
they're like, "Oh, you're..." Go ahead.
No, I just wanted to say something. Can I just say that both sides being paranoid about the other doesn't fucking solve anything? Because I feel like the cops were paranoid about you, and you were paranoid about them.
Well, here's the wild thing, dude. I don't know if this guy was just throwing shit at me to try to intimidate me because it was the first time, technically second time that I'd ever been arrested, but the first time that I've ever been arrested for anything drug related. This guy was like, "Listen, man, we don't want you. We want people who have more shit. We know that you're just nickel and dimer. We want the bigger guys who have more shit than you have." And when I told him I didn't have anybody, the odd thing was though, dude, even though he said that, he was like, "What we try to do is we don't take down the big fish. We leave the big fish on the street and we take all the little fish that bring us up to the bigger one so that we can close in on arrests because that's how we make money." So I don't know,
Wait,
like
did he
that.
actually tell you that afterwards? I'm confused. Like, what happened?
Yeah, no, he literally did. He literally did say that. He said we don't. He first because his statement contradicts itself. He said we don't want you. We want the guys that have bigger weight than you have, but we don't want the big fish. What we do is he's trying to sell me now on the idea of ratting somebody out. Because look, I'm in there, might as well ask questions, right? When is the chance that you're ever going to be able to find out how the process works? You
I mean,
can't.
Kev, sorry to interrupt you again, but I think, you know what, I think, I think he saw you as just a stupid kid. I don't think he was prepared for you asking questions, for you actually, I don't know, having a fucking brain.
Right. Oh, we take all the people leading up to the big fish and we leave the big fish on the street so that we can continue the smaller chain so that it rebuilds itself and then we just keep getting arrested so it makes us look good. So basically, if you're, I don't know how the laws work in
What you're
any other
saying is he
states.
lied to you.
No, I mean, dude, you watched the documentary Culture High, right?
I didn't get a chance to watch all of it, but I did watch the part at the beginning where the guy was like, "You killed my dog," and it's just like, "Oh, there's no." Like I really gotta go finish that. Hopefully, it's still on Netflix.
I think it is, but there was a part in the film where a cop was talking about this. I think he might have been from Baltimore, if I remember correctly. But either way, he actually said that the cops prefer and that the two ideals do sync up. If what this guy is saying is actually true, the guy in the documentary is saying that we leave the bigger guys on the street because the reason for that is again to take down the chain leading up to them. Because if you take the big fish off of the street, then you ruin your entire supply line, and now you're not going to get any arrests at all. So we make more money by arresting a kid with a joint versus arresting a guy who is literally selling pounds or whatever it might be out
Also,
of his house.
Kevin, I just thought of something. I think another reason why they go after the little fish and not the big fish is because if you take out the big fish first, all the little fish will fight each other for power.
Well, there's that aspect too. I mean, I would assume you would see now you just brought up a really good point because I'm gonna correct myself before I even go on because I was going to say I would imagine that you would see those types of things with harder drugs like cocaine or heroin because you're fighting
I'm sure that
over.
happens. I'm sure that happens, but I'm sure that would happen with weed too. Like any illegal substance, anything, bootleg DVDs, sex slaves. You know what I mean? Hello.
Well, yeah, hold on, dude. I don't know what the fuck is going on downstairs in my house, but it sounds like somebody's banging on my fucking door. If the FBI comes to get me, I won't be back.
Okay, so I guess he left. So I guess it's up to me to steal the show. I don't know. I don't know if anyone's in the chat. Probably not, since this channel only has like 3 subscribers for now. But um, subscribe. Yep, just subscribe. Do whatever the fuck you want. Subscribe. But yeah, this is an interesting conversation. Kevin and I have usually have a lot of these conversations, off air, like on phone or whatever. Sometimes for 3 hours. Like they go all over the fucking place. Uh, oh, I'm having some green tea with some biscuits, some Italian biscuits. Mm. Oh, $20. His mother came over. Or something else. We'll see what happens. Okay. I'm Sonic. Technology sucks. Nah, I enjoyed. I don't know. Hope it's all right. Oh, I needed that. I wonder what the fuck is going on over there. Well, I don't know. Beatbox. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Let's go somewhere else and see. Dun, 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 dun. Oh shit! People actually talking in here in the chat. Hey, Isabella. Yeah, well, Mr. Pluto the dog. Hey, Pluto, you sexy beast.
Holy shit!
Dude, what happened?
Apparently, well, I mean, the cat is a fucking retard, and fuck you if you don't like me saying that because I have a handicap, bitch. I can say it.
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah, yeah. Hold on. I decided that the word retard is like the N word for us. We're both retarded, so we can use it.
yeah, but Jen was giving the cat a bath. Apparently, she's been down there for like 20 minutes yelling for me. I'm upstairs. I can't hear shit, especially with the headphones plugged in. But the cat got her fucking foot caught in the tub drain.
Ooh.
It is the second time that that's happened to her. You know, where I actually had to run, get a screwdriver, and Jen had to unscrew the fucking bottom of the drain thing for the tub, and then she had to use soap to get her fucking foot out of it because she literally had her entire nail and a big chunk of what the cat equivalent to a toe would be inside the fucking drain.
That sucks. Is she all right? I mean, I know she's an idiot, but is she all right?
I mean, she's gonna have to. She's gonna have to be, dude. You know, this is what happens to you when you don't look. We've had this fucking moron for 7 years. If
Well,
anybody was gonna drown you, you would have been drowned already. You know the procedure. I know that you hate water, but you need to get a fucking flea bath every once in a while. I mean, we normally do it like once a month just to keep everything in check, unless she has treatment on her, which then you have to wait a certain amount of time before you can put it back on them, so you don't want to wash it off. But I mean, dude, that she can't fucking stand water, so she just freaks out every time she's in there, and I guess by putting her nails out to try to hold on to the shower floor. Since we don't have a bathtub, we have a fucking jail shower. I only say that because of the size of it.
oh yeah,
But
hold on. Sabella said maybe you should invest in a baby bathtub so it doesn't happen again. Sabella, you wanna start a GoFundMe for that? Because,
well, Jen just said she'll probably just wind up doing it in the kitchen sink from now on because we can take the drain out from that, and at least it's big enough to where she's not. It's big enough where she can't get her toes caught, but it's not so big that she can get her entire leg caught inside of
yeah.
it. But yeah, that's what just happened. She's like, I've been calling you for like 20 fucking minutes, man. Like,
Well,
sorry,
at
dude.
least, at least it wasn't the FBI at your door.
Yeah, really. I mean, I was just fucking around, but these days you never know, man.
Yeah, right.
Christ. No, I know. I don't even know what the fuck I was rambling on about anyway.
Oh, we were rambling on about cops and how I brought up a good point where if they take out the big fish, the little fish are gonna go to war over the turf.
Oh yeah. That like I said, I would normally think that that kind of thing would be reserved for harder drugs, but I have to correct myself because in the neighborhood I was in, look, keep in mind, I grew up in a ghetto neighborhood, but where I was at this point in life was the suburbs, dude. I mean, like when I say suburbs, I mean like there's decent decent houses. Nobody is there. There's no apartment building anywhere to be seen. So there's no real reason to be walking around trying to act like you're hardcore when the worst thing you're gonna run into is a fucking soccer mom. But there's a dude, Brandon. I'm not gonna say his last name just because I'm not a cunt like that. But he actually came up to me because he knew that I was selling and said, like, oh, allegedly. He allegedly said that I was selling. Hold on, real quick. Give me 2 seconds. The kid came up to me and basically said, like, a scene out of a fucking movie, bro. He was like, look, this is this is my neighborhood. I don't want you doing anything around here, and if you continue to do it, we're gonna have a fucking problem. I want you to understand that. I will fucking hurt you. I'm not afraid of jail or any of that bullshit. So don't fuck around. Don't continue to do anything because I run shit around here and that's just the way it's going to be. Not really thinking anything of it. I went about my focus. I even told the dude the whole reason why this endeavor was happening was to be able to hypothetically be able to afford medical, well, not medical, because medical doesn't exist then, but marijuana in general to be able to use it as medication because I was not on painkillers at the time. Wasn't out to try to make a fucking mint off weed because anybody worth anything knows that there really is no money in fucking weed. If you want to make money off drugs, you gotta go and sell the stronger shit, the pills, oxys, and I don't even think ecstasy's a thing anymore. But oxys, Percocets, Vicodins, that's where the fucking money is. It's definitely not in fucking 20 bags of weed, dude. It's not. It's just not going to happen. But I didn't listen to him, and I heard later on that he actually was also on the list of people that fucking ratted me out. So, strong, tough guy who runs a suburban neighborhood was such a tough guy that he decided to call the cops on me. Fucking ridiculous. The only reason why that all of that shit happened was because it taught me really early in the stronger shit because you can have fucked up. Hold on. I have the. I'll keep the chat up on the side too. I forgot that there was one because this is only. It's technically a continuation of the first time that
Yeah,
I'm
people
doing
actually
this.
responded in the chat. I noticed people. You got Mr. Pluto. You got Sabella. You know. Sorry about that.
It's alright. Sort of talking to myself and drinking. That's funny. I can't drink anymore, man. I'm on thyroid medicine now, so I'm completely docile, and I have a couple of bottles of vodka that have been sitting in the fridge now. I mean, the freezer going on fucking 2 years.
Well, there's a bottle of empty one for like.
Okay, I'll take them off your hands if you like.
Yeah, right, dude. I mean, dude, when is the last time you even had a drink?
I can't remember. Father's Day, I think.
I'll tell you one thing though, dude. I don't miss it at all, and I'll tell you why. I don't know about the rest of you guys, but if I get sick from something, I can't have whatever that thing is anymore. Like, just as an example, a few years back, I had the flu, and somebody told me to take a shot of Jack Daniels, that because that will clear my sinuses out. So, like an idiot, I listened to them. I took a shot and wound up throwing up. Literally, not even probably an hour later. And after that, I couldn't smell Jack Daniels without my stomach turning. So, I can't have that anymore. I haven't tried in a while, but now, like I said, I can't because I'm on medication.
There's so much junk in this garage. Closet. But yeah, that sucks. Jesus Christ, that sucks, Kev. I mean, that guy who told you to drink, what was it? What was it again? Cognac or vodka or a shot of whiskey?
Yeah, Jack Daniels is whiskey. And then Jen just reminded me of blackberry brandy. Somebody told me to do a shot of blackberry brandy that's supposed to be good for you when you're drinking. And same thing happened. It's been years since I've had Jack Daniels, and I won't even look at a bottle of blackberry brandy anymore just because I got way more sick off of that one than I did. But hold on, I'm going to read this comment real quick. Odds are if you were in the suburbs, he was just playing it tough. I was seeing straight up hard pimps and dealers here play that, then back down from me when I told them that I would not put up with their shit.
Who said that?
Sabella. When they came around to church or to our house looking for their crack whores, oh fucking hell. But I'm a tad scary, and every last one of them realized it quick. They were even afraid of Bruce, but they know better when it comes to me. I'm scary. Well, you know what? I give you credit just because I'm not that guy. I'm not that dude in any sense of the word. I'm literally 5'7", maybe 165 pounds, so I'm not a big guy. And then on top of that, I walk with a limp, so I already look like blood in the water for somebody who wants to be a tough guy. The only cool thing is
you got cauliflower ear.
I have a ear that I have a cauliflower ear. Like when I went out to the seaside, which I don't know if any of you guys know the show Jersey Shore. If any of you guys are into watching those degenerates out and around, but I went out to that place at a bar and we were drinking a few years back when a dude tried to pick a fight with me. When I get a little bit of alcohol in me, it's a different story though. I'm ready for action because I just don't. All my normal filters are gone. I don't care.
I'll be right back, dude. I need to go to the bathroom. Okay, continue.
Okay. Hey, when I get a little bit of alcohol in me, dude, it's a wrap. I'll fight almost anybody because I'm not a size queen when I have alcohol in me, dude. Like, I don't give a shit if you're bigger than I am. If you run your mouth, then we're gonna have problems. What is it? We work with addicts up at the church and try to help girls get clean and stop hooking. So we deal with them a lot. After dealing with my family, they aren't that intimidating. Hmm. That's an interesting. Now, where are you? Where are you at? Like, what state are you in? Just out of curiosity, I figured I'd ask you. And I also would like to know when you get alcohol and you just get sleepy. I wish that was me, man. It depends on. Oh, you're in Florida. That's the fucking that's deep. I know a few people out there. That place can be pretty rough, man. I mean, I guess they live in nice areas. My buddy lives in Port St. Lucie. Back in the early 2000s, I took a Greyhound out to Florida, and he was going to pick me up at Fort Lauderdale. I don't know anything about these places on a day-to-day basis, but when I told the Greyhound driver that I was going to get out at a stop in Fort Lauderdale, he was like, dude, do you have somebody coming to get you? Because this is a really bad area and you can find yourself in some serious trouble quick. So unless you have somebody coming to pick you up, I would suggest you find a different place to get dropped off at. The toothless bitch. Oh shit! I completely forgot about that. Thank you for reminding me.
Thank you for remembering.
Holy shit! That is funny. Real quick, I should jump into the. I'll jump into the Greyhound stories and it's gonna go
It's part of it.
addicts though, and what that must be like to try to help people in that situation because I have experience in that field. Unfortunately, it didn't turn out well. But when I was taking the Greyhound down to Florida to go visit my friend, there was a really good looking chick. We stopped in Georgia. There's a really good looking chick that got losses. And like how much that she had a really pretty face, she had a nice body, all that bullshit. And when she smiled at me, no teeth in her mouth at all whatsoever. That that was just a really thing that, of course, that would be my luck. Now that I'm missing a gang of teeth, my health related issues, I understand it a little bit more, but it's almost like it was cartoonish the way that shit happened. It was pretty funny. But all right, so I'll drink too. Is it when you get alcohol and you get a little bit sleepy? If I'm happy, everybody else is happy, then we're gonna have a great night. But if I'm in an okay mood and somebody to start shit, it's going to shift rather quickly because I don't know, man. I don't like confrontation, but I'm not necessarily gonna back down from it. Uh, let's see. We live in the highest area of opiate addicts in the country. There's a shooting up at the local Walmart like once a month. It's pretty bad here. Holy shit. And yeah, dude, no teeth at all whatsoever. But then again, if you're me, when something to you, there's definitely attached. I'm gonna be sticking my dick because it's definitely any other way. Nuts. You live in a county that has one of the highest opiate addictions, and there's a shooting at the Walmart like once a month. I can't imagine. It must be a fucking nightmare during Black Friday, man. People are going fucking crazy. Like I know a little bit about opioid addiction. I actually currently am taking Percocets as we speak, but that's under the care of a doctor. So it's not like I'm doing them recreationally. But Jen's cousin and her aunt at one point, I know her aunt is supposedly clean now. I say supposedly because I'm not a any true. It's not good. Ah, that sucks. I'm lagging.
Yeah, fucking with the Wi-Fi, if you hear it, it's loud.
Okay, I still have 3 bars. Let me pop back over to the chat. Am I still lagging or is everything back to good now? Oh shit. Oh, okay, cool. Awesome. Sorry about that. I had no idea because I have nothing that can bounce my voice back to me. Thankfully, hate the sound of it. I think it would be weird not to. But yeah, I know 2 people that have had serious heroin addictions where we made the mistake, and I say mistake only because that's what it turned into. We had the good intention of trying to help these people. The first one, you know, was her aunt. She moved in with her husband, and her son.
One of her kids.
One of her kids, yeah, her youngest. And we understood that they were going through some shit. They got kicked out of their house for whatever reason. I don't remember what it is now, but
They on rent.
oh, okay, it was rent, so they
And
weren't.
Uncle James wasn't gonna be living there anymore.
Oh, okay, that's right. Well, that gets into a whole nother bag of shit that we don't need to get into. But either way, we were like, all right, fuck it. You can come and live with us, and we'll try to help you for a little while. And the only thing that wound up happening was they ran all of our bills through the roof, utility, the car into the ground that she had. And
because they were stealing it at night.
all right, well, you gotta give me a chance here to make points because these people don't know. Girl we lost not too long ago at OD 20 times before she finally didn't come back from it. Holy shit,
That
man.
sounded like, fucking Dana.
Yeah, well, real quick, I'll go on to these people, run to the second ones, and then we can get done with that. But we moved them in. They didn't give us any money towards anything, and we later found out that all they were doing was they were basically using our place as somewhere to crash, and every time that they left, they were just going out and getting high. Eventually, we did wind up kicking them out, but that was because we couldn't afford to keep them anymore. The second time was with one of her cousins.
I'm back.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
The second time was with one of her cousins, where his mom kicked him out from his drug abuse. She had it. She didn't want to deal with it anymore. He was getting crazy, destroying her shit when she wouldn't give him money. Sorry. And she was like, fuck it, you're out. So he started making his rounds looking for people to live with. So he hit Jen up and he was like, hey man, can I stay with you for a little while? I'm going through some shit right now, but, I'll try to get a job and throw you guys some money for rent and utilities when I get my income tax money in. She's way too nice, so she automatically agrees. And it was a bad idea just because
she's stuck on the fucking outlet now.
Ugh. What happened was they move in. Long story short, the kid moves in. He starts seeing a girl.
No, he's been seeing that girl.
No, I'm saying at our house.
Oh yeah.
He starts bringing a girl back to the house that he's been dating for some time now, apparently. So every night, and this was literally every night after like the first week that they were here, she starts coming over and, alright, hold on. She had a really bad habit of shooting heroin and smoking crack to come down. That's a speedball, isn't it? Half of the heroin was laced with fentanyl, which is high rates of overdoses. That fucking sucks, man. It's really shitty that people do that. This chick had a rod in her back from a surgery, and she said that she wasn't taking prescription pills from her doctor because she didn't like that stuff, that she only wanted to take aspirins. So they developed a system where she would go, all right, I'm coming out of the room, I'm going to grab a couple aspirins, and then I'm going to take a shower. Now, she would turn the shower water on and would be in there for a good hour, sometimes 2 hours. And we figured, like, that's kind of weird that you would be in there for that long, but maybe the rod is stopping her movement and it's taking her a little while to get to the parts that she needs to wash. Unfortunately, that was not the case. How we found out that they were using in our house was
my sewing
shit. Jen has sewing shit because she does fashion design and all that, and her cousin was actually using her sewing needles to shoot up in the fucking bedroom
to open his.
He was using it to open his vein, and then he would shoot up from there. And he was hiding it. He was hiding it in her sewing box so we wouldn't see it. One night when he had left after a few months of them staying at the house, and we begin to suspect that shit is happening.
And we told them ahead of time we are going to check the room whenever we feel deemed necessary.
After a while, we're like, all right, next time they leave, we're going to check the room and see if we can find anything. Because if they're on fucking drugs, then I told her straight up, family or not, this motherfucker is going out the door because I'm not going to have that in our house.
We didn't find anything the first 2 times we looked. How we found something is when you needed me to hem or stitch something on your pants, and we found the drugs, like that, because I said, what is this fucking paper?
Yeah, empty baggies.
I didn't know because it was neatly folded up into a square, into a little square.
Empty dope bags and fucking the used up sewing needles that he was using. Shit was all put back in the wrong place. It was hidden. When I found it, I literally, the first thing I did was called somebody that knew more about heroin than I did, had them come over to confirm that that's actually what it was, because I didn't want to kick the dude out without hard evidence in case it was going to come down to an argument, and then called him, threw all of his shit into, and her shit into three different, and it was garbage bags.
No, and it was a book bag.
Into garbage bags, put this shit out on the step, told him to come and fucking get it. He's not going to stay here anymore. So he told me at that time, like, the next time I see you, I'm going to fuck you up. And, because this is not how this shit is going to go down.
That you got me brainwashed.
Yeah, that I have her brainwashed, that he's family, and you can't do that to family. You got to look out for each other. Looking out for your family is not sneaking dope into the fucking house and putting everybody that lives there at risk. But anyway, 2 weeks after we booted him and his girlfriend out, we got word back that she overdosed and died 2 weeks later, which is a fucking scary thought, because I'm happy in a way, as sad as this is, that we kicked him out when we did, because that girl could have died in our fucking house, dude. And I don't know where the fuck I would be right now if that would have happened. It's pretty bad here. They were trying to pass a law that EMTs would not have to respond to repeat offenders, aka people who overdose more than 3 times. The government here doesn't even care. All treatment facilities have 6 months to a year waiting list. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, what the fuck?
It's why our church started this sanctuary project to raise money to build new treatment facilities for girls around here. Well, to your point, I wanted to bring up something that her aunt had said. I've been on these pills for a while, and this was a few years back when she tried to kick dope the first time, because it happened a few times before I guess it actually took, which I hope that it did. But she said that you're not, when I brought up at the time, the governor in New Jersey had passed a law that anybody who was caught with heroin that was an addict or caught with paraphernalia, rather than going to jail or prison, that they would be sent to a rehabilitation center. And she actually said that, that's a good idea in theory, but talking from personal experience, this is what she's saying to me. You can put me in rehab 30 times until I'm ready to actually get clean. It's not going to take. I have to want to get off of the drugs, and no law that any governor is going to pass is going to change that. Which is, it's sad, really, if you think about it, but at the same time, I understand it. I had a buddy that was hooked on oxys. It started out in the hospital. I correct myself before that. He worked at a car dealership. And when he would slow down,
Hello?
yeah, you gonna say something?
No, sorry. I should have muted myself.
No, it's alright. I was just making sure you weren't gonna say something. I didn't want to step over you.
Yeah, no.
He was working at a... Go ahead.
No. I was just gonna say, dude, I'm actually thinking of going to sleep because I'm fucking tired. Good
All
luck with
right,
the rest of your stream.
all right, thanks, man.
Yep.
Real quick, where do I put? If anybody wants to jump in here, where do I throw this link out at?
Well, you could throw it in the chat, but the downside to that is that you don't know who you'll get unless you have cameraman on. The another thing they you have to worry about is something called sniping. Isabella could probably explain what sniping is a little better, but basically, if somebody gets the link, they can come in and and remove people. Remove people, even the host, by the way, not just not just people you invited, even the host, and basically hijack the stream and just you know what I mean.
Yeah, that's fucked up. All right, well, I guess if anybody does want to jump in, if they happen to come across this somehow, they can jump in. I guess I should go back to the hangout and do the thing.
Yeah, turn on cameraman. Remember, turn on cameraman and put those two things. And if you do put the link in the chat, make sure you pay attention if somebody comes in, so you can actually see who they are. You
And
know
you
what I
said
mean?
it's the first and the second one, right?
No, first and third.
First and third, okay.
Yes. Anyways, you should be fine.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for helping me set this up, dude.
Well, yeah, no problem. Just enjoy yourself. Just forget everything. Who gives a shit? Forget your own name. Forget Jen. Forget the cat. Just forget everything. Forget your own. Well, I already said that, but yeah. All right.
Yeah. All right, man.
I'll be listening while I sleep or something. I don't know. I'll see. All right. Good night.
All right, night, man. Okay. Okay, no, you're still a moderator. All right, so I don't have to do that over again. All right, let's see. What the last thing that you said was, so that is very true. We've had girls go to jail, dry out, come home, then start right back up again because they went right back to the places that they were before. And then if someone has the link, they can kick you out of your own hangout using green chat. That's really lame that people actually do that. And that sucks that, I mean, I guess it is, a lot of it is where you are in your life. I mean, if you start going back to the same places that you were, or around the same people that you were picking up from before, there's a really strong chance you're going to go back to it. And like I was saying earlier, my buddy was working at the car lot. When he would slow down, how it started was somebody was like, "Hey man, you should check this out. You know, take one of these things. It will speed you up." Okay. All right, my bad. Hold on. I was just switching over to make sure that everything was still working properly. They'll speed you up so you can keep working. And it was like, all right, I'll do it. From there it was a kind of recreational thing, but then shortly after that he had appendicitis, so his appendix almost burst. He wound up going to the hospital, getting a surgery for it, and got put on Dilaudid, I think, for a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. That could be an exaggerated amount of time. I just know that it was for a decent amount of time. I think he might have been in the hospital for a month. And I guess in that time he decided that he liked the way that the drugs made him feel. So when he got out, he started proactively looking for people to get the pills off of. And it started perk 10s, taking you know, 2 of them. Then eventually he's taken. I actually watched him take 5 perk 10s at a time, which don't really sound like a lot, but I mean it definitely is. And then graduating to Oxycontins before he wound up getting clean. He was taking 8 or 9 Oxy 80s a day between swallowing them and sniffing them. And this is a person that doesn't have any pain at all whatsoever. So he's just doing it to do it. I mean, it's kind of fucked up, like, too. I knew this dude my whole fucking life, man. I watched the transformation go from regular person to addict. It is insane. We had this one girl, Jennifer, who was told that if she started back up on drugs after she got clean, she would most likely die because it exacerbated her heart condition. That sucks, man. And you know what the sad part is too, dude? Like, she's 26 and has to use a walker now. Oh my god. And is basically on her deathbed because of drugs. God damn it, man. 26 fucking years old. Dude, I'm only 33. But, I mean, 26, fuck, man, that's young as hell. I know I'm still young, but I couldn't imagine, like, I walk around with a cane from time to time, but that's between my cerebral palsy and multiple sclerosis. Like, I couldn't imagine being normal, for lack of a better word, and then going so heavy into the drugs that it takes over your mind to where you can't even walk anymore. And like I know they must have that voice in the back of their head. The other girl we lost, she was 25. Jesus Christ! It seems like it's young. Like get them while they're young, man. I mean, I guess that is the perfect time to catch somebody. I mean, I would be curious to find out, did they work up to it slowly, or did they just happen to? Because in my experience, like I started smoking weed at 16, you know, but smoking weed, I never thought to myself like, oh, you know what, man, weed is awesome. So let me go and try out these other drugs. I mean, I might be a rarity, but I was actually afraid of drugs because I always would ask 100 questions. The first question I asked when they ever gave me anything was, how much of it do I have to take? And if it's more than 2 doses that I need to take to get, I don't want it because I don't want to walk into that danger zone because I don't know where I'm going to go from there. You know, it's a slippery slope, but I would be curious to see if they started on lower level drugs and eventually graduated to heroin. Listen, Barry, if you see how she looked before she was doing drugs and how she looked when she died, it is amazing how fast she deteriorated. She looked like a whole different person. Like, yeah, dude, that's really fucked up. Like, I'll be honest, I'm not even using heroin. I mean, I guess I am in the literal sense of it. It's derived from the same shit. I mean, granted, this is a controlled from a doctor kind of a deal, but somebody tagged me in a photo on Facebook from when I was like 18 or 19 compared to now, or not even, probably like 20 something if I'm going to be fair. But the drastic difference from what I looked like then to what I look like now, I look like 2 different people. And I'm not even using street shit. I can't even imagine what it does to you. And that's a shame too for these younger women because I mean, again, I know I'm only 33, but I mean, at 26, 25 years old, you have a lot of shit ahead of you, man. I understand it can build. Part of the reason why I'm sitting here right now and just talking to you guys is to kind of get out of my own head a little bit. But then again, I mean, I'm not really in a spot where I don't see it every single day anymore. 2 kids. Fuck, man, that is the worst. That is the fucking worst. Because then these kids, probably if they're lucky, wind up going into foster care. I would assume. I mean, because when you're that, I know, again, from experience, and I would imagine that a lot of people don't have that close connection with their family anymore because of the lying, stealing, and doing all the other shit that you do when you're out just looking to get high on some shit. So I don't know if there would be family members there to intercept the kids. Her mom, their grandma, got custody when she started using. I mean, at least that's good, I guess. It's a sad that that's kind of a silver lining because then their kids grow up going like, what happened to my mom, and then their family has to turn around do that. That's a rough spot to be in because depending on how old they are, if they're old enough to understand, mom's dead and she's not coming back, they're probably old enough to understand how she got there. So that must be really difficult to deal with something like that. I mean, that's really fucked up to have kids and then to you're not even thinking about your children. I mean, obviously it's the last thing you're thinking about because you're not even concerned with yourself. You have no only thing that you're worried about is where that next buzz is going to come from. You don't care where you get it or how you get it. It just has to happen. I mean, I would imagine the thing that might keep a lot of these people on it is the fact that the withdrawals happen. I mean, again, though, you made the argument earlier that, they go to jail and they dry out and then they jump right back into it. But I mean, I don't know, dude. I've never done I've never done heroin. I've tried coke before. I'm not gonna bullshit anybody in here. The only the only drugs that I've ever done in my life, streetwise, were marijuana, and because I lived in a a drug house for a good period of time, I did try coke because that was the flavor of choice. Even though the guy that lived above the apartment that I was in was selling everything. I mean, you can literally go upstairs and get shrooms, heroin, cocaine, weed, whatever. And then it's been hard for the family, especially for their kids. Twice after overdosing, her mom tried to encourage her to get clean for her kids, just didn't work. Fuck, man. That sucks, dude. And I know there has to be that moment in their minds where they go, like, okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm really gonna do it this time. I got the kids to think about. And then maybe once, just even when the shakes start, it's like, no, I can't. I can't do it, man. I need this more. I mean, the Jen's and her husband actually told me that it got to a point where when he got so disgusted with himself when he would shoot up, he would pray that he would overdose so that he could kill the cycle and he wouldn't be able to do it anymore. Like, that would be more freeing and easier than quitting would be to overdose and die. Like, it didn't matter that they had a kid together or even that she had another son outside of that marriage from a previous relationship. Nothing mattered except for that feeling. And then eventually it goes from that to I can't deal with being sick. I can't handle it. I don't want to. I mean, that's fucking scary, man. I mean, dude, I know that I'm taking it. I know I'm taking it from a doctor, but before I even started the medicine with this particular doctor, dude looked at me and was like, listen, know what you're getting yourself into. It doesn't matter what's in your brain. It don't matter what's in your heart. You are going to get addicted eventually. It's going to happen. It's only a matter of time. It doesn't matter how you feel about it, whether you want to or you don't want to, but it's going to happen. So understand that going in. I mean, I don't subscribe to that though. I think it depends on how you use it. Like, I'm taking 4 Percocet 10 milligrams a day, 10 325. That is a lot, but spread out over the course of a day, it keeps me moving. And I just got the bump from 3 to 4 because I asked for it. But it's not like I'm taking those 4 pills all in one shot and doing that continuously every day. I mean, I couldn't. The one good thing about my doctor is that they piss test me, they do random pill counts and shit like that. The overdose before the one that killed her, she nearly died. She saw the picture of herself in intensive care with machines keeping her alive. The shock from that image was pretty powerful. I would imagine it would be. I mean, dude, that is your wake up call. She only stayed clean for 2 weeks after. I should still have the picture somewhere, so if I find it, I'll link it to you. I I don't know how to respond to that because I would say that would be cool of you to do. I guess in the vein, no pun intended, for lack of a better term. I don't think cool would be the word to use, but I mean, I think that that's healthy, I guess, to keep it as a reminder. Like, you guys must look at it like you're doctors. Do you? Like, in the sense that I know a doctor, when you're a doctor, you're gonna lose patients. It's going to happen. There's nothing that you can do to stop it. But you can't allow the fact that you're going to lose a few to stop you from trying to save the many. Like, I know it must eat you alive inside to see people destroying themselves, but to be able to go back out and continue doing it, that takes serious balls. It really does. I don't know. I don't know if I would have the heart to do that. Seriously, sitting here and thinking about it, I don't necessarily know that I could. Just because it's a real tough thing to do. Alright, hold on. Just give me 2 seconds. I know it's gonna be dead air, but I'm not gonna be long. Hold on 1 minute. Okay, sorry about that. I had to go pretty bad. And I know there's nobody here to really hold down the fort, but you gotta do what you gotta do, I guess. Oh, man. That is so heavy, dude. Jesus. I mean, I commend you for having the strength to at least try fighting a losing battle. That's exactly what it is. I don't understand when this shit became so popular again. Lost several girls, but that doesn't change the math. We stopped trying to help them get clean. No one else will, and more will die. Well, that's true. That is true. I mean, you guys might be all that they have. Probably in most cases, you are. Now, like, what do you do to try to help them get clean? Like, I don't know where you're at with religion in this church. If you guys try to give them religion through like an NA type of a deal to try to help them get clean through 12 steps, or do you try to find something in their life that they can hold on to? Like you were mentioned before, the people who have kids, or maybe the fact that there's something out there for them to do, that they have their youth still, and that they don't need to waste their life away on something like this because they're not going to get anywhere but dead. I'd be kind of curious to know how that all works. I mean, I don't know when this spike happened. I mean, has it always been this bad? And do we now only see it because of social media? I mean, I kind of feel like that puts a bigger spotlight on it, but I mean, has it always been there like this? I don't remember. I mean, growing up as a kid, I remember seeing a few people, like older people, who were definitely on some shit that you knew to stay away from, but I didn't, was too naive to know what the hell it was. And then obviously, getting out of high school, when people got hooked on shit. It's a passion project for our church and our pastor, in particular because his wife was an addict. It varies. First and foremost, we offer them a safe place that cares where they can eat and sleep. That's really nice. That's a really nice thing to do. But I mean, I feel like, and this is outsider perspective, but I kind of feel like if I was in that position, a church, not to say anything bad about the place that you are and what you're trying to do, but when I think church, the first thing I think of is judgment, and that I don't want to be judged every day by the things that I'm doing. I mean, obviously, when they walk through the door in your place, hopefully you're not the minority in all of this, but that they can see, you know, it's not, look, we're not here to judge you. We just want to help you because nobody else is going to, so we're going to try. Because that might be the other thing too. Maybe nobody ever tried with them. I mean, dude, I get it, man. I've been I've been in spots in my life where I felt like nobody really gave a shit for me. And I guess luckily enough I was kind of smart in the sense that I never gravitated towards that. I mean, you can make an argument that there was a long period of time that I used weed to escape my problems, but at least with that, you don't have to worry about a full blown withdrawal where you're shaking and sweating and shit like that. when I was using it, I could pick it up and put it down whenever I felt like, and it was not an issue. Whereas this is completely different. But I mean, I guess it takes you into a whole another realm of circumstances, man. And like I said before, I was living in a drug house for a while, and I did try coke. Ironically enough, I didn't get high off of it right away. It took a long time. Like I was just using it and nothing was happening. I wasn't feeling anything. I don't know if maybe that shit wasn't cut right, but I mean I watched these dudes bring in literally kilos of this shit, break it open, stomp on it. In other words, cut it to make the drugs go farther and do all that stuff. So I don't know about purity or anything like that, but we also invite them to the church to listen to gospel. Sanctuary Project, we raise money for to build a new facility since all the ones here are so backed up. And probably in your city. Well, I mean, at least you guys are trying to do something. Are so backed up in the process of building the first one. Already bought the land and it's being built down the street. Being built down the street. No judgment, just compassion and helping where we can. Yeah, see, that's awesome, man. Really, I can't say that enough. Like, dude, if you can put or no, you might not want to put the name of the place out there like that. But I mean, on my Facebook page, I know people in Florida. I'll put word out for this place if they know anybody that is struggling. They can, Google it or however it is that somebody comes across a place like this. Maybe you can get some help to some people who really need it. Because I get, a lot of people, I guess, feel like nobody really cares. Especially when you're already in that hole, man. It's got to be tough. It's got to be real tough. Sorry, I had to cough. Uh, I just, I don't know, man. But yeah, I tried it for a while and nothing was happening. When it finally did hit me, it was a really. I'm trying to think of how I can describe what it felt like because I've seen it in movies where people do a couple of lines and then they go and try to conquer the world, whatever that might be, and they're speedy and they don't, they're talking 100 miles an hour. It wasn't like that for me. Our church, hands and feet, everyone is welcome. We will help in any way we can. It's not just the addicts, it's also for people who are homeless and vets who need assistance, but girls are a big focus. Okay. I have my phone sitting next to me. I'm going to send a text message to myself with the name of this place. If I could spell. Hands and feet. Yep, wrong one. Okay. I text it to myself so I can put the word out later, and I'll probably tweet it out too. I mean, I don't really have a big following, but you never know. Somebody somewhere might come across it at the right moment in their life and possibly go and get help for the better. I would hope so anyway, just because you never want to see anything like that happen to anybody. It is a horrible fucking thing. It really is. Hold on one second. Okay. Sorry about that. Took my hoodie off because I'm sweating like crazy up here. The upstairs is the hottest part of the house. Well, the rest of it is probably 10 degrees colder. I understand heat rises, but Jesus. Let's see. For the homeless and vets, we tried to get them into housing. Also, help get any of them any other type of assistance they might need if they don't have their documents like IDs, social security cards, if they need glasses, all sorts of stuff, and the church pays for it. See, now, this is the one thing that I enjoy to see like this stuff like this happen. And I think this is where people, especially on here, I mean, granted, I've only spoken to two of them, so I don't know if everybody subscribes to the ideals, but just because I am not big into religion doesn't mean that religion doesn't do good things, but unfortunately, you have to find it a lot of the time. Like, don't get me wrong, there are food banks that are around not very far from where I live, which we've had to use several times and still often do need to use occasionally to be able to get by. But the unfortunate part is that where my shittiness towards all of this comes in, your thing excluded, is that in this one particular church that doubles as an AA group and also a food bank, the people that quote unquote work there take all of the good food, the stuff that is in date, and all the meat that is actually half decent, take it for themselves, and then distribute it, whatever is left, out to everyone else. I've seen it happen. I mean, I understand that they're running the place, but if you're in a position to run a church, I don't know why you would be taken out of a food bank that is supposed to help and feed other people. I mean, when I don't need to go, I don't go, and that we haven't gone just because the last few times we've gotten from this one particular spot, everything, all of the food was bad. Anything that is not a canned good had to be thrown out in the trash. And I feel bad for the people who don't have the option to do anything else but that. They have to eat it, whether it's bad or not. And maybe they built up a tolerance for it. But you know, these guys argue They argue for the religion. They don't even argue for the churches. I don't know where you're at, if you do it, if you do this for Jesus, or if you just do it because it's the right thing to do. Either way, it doesn't matter. Is the point is that you're doing it versus the shit that I'm talking about, where it's people that are just trying to get ahead, and they look down on the people that they're supposed to be helping. I I understand that you're helping me, but don't be mad at me when I come and I grab a bag of food or whatever it is, and when you ask me if I want to sit and pray with you, and I tell you that I would rather not, you feel a certain way about that. Like, dude, it's not. That is your deal. That's what you believe in. That's perfectly fine. And I appreciate that you're helping me, but I don't need a fucking prayer right now. What I need is to have food in my refrigerator, money in my fucking pocket, and be able to get into the next day. And praying is not going to get me there. That's a dark way of looking at it, but unfortunately, when you're day to day, that's what it's the way that it comes off. At least for me, it does. And I don't mean to disrespect anybody that believes in whatever the hell you believe in. If it gets you to where you need to be, that's fantastic. I just don't. I don't know, man. Had a lot of bad experiences, and you can argue that that was only with those places, and it's not like that everywhere, and it shouldn't impend on what you believe or don't believe. But there's a lot of bad shit going on. Let's see. Well, according to Jill, I'm not not a real Christian, nor is my husband, and I'm sure our church is also full of fake Christians. Helping people is not being a good Christian, apparently. He can go fuck himself, dude. There are a few other churches around here who behave the same way. Trust me, I'm not blind to the bad behavior. Some people do it for appearances. Not believing is not a pristine for help at our church. If you want to hear the preaching, you can. If not, that's fine too. You can still get the help you need. Yeah, exactly. It's the way it should fucking be, man. Like, look, I want to. Even if I never get to a place where I believe in whatever set of fucking rules. And, fuck that Jill guy. What you're doing is way more Christian than most of the Christian people I know what they do. Everybody likes to be a Christian and then go to church and judge everybody around them because they're not on their level, which is completely outside of what the fucking whole purpose is. I mean, don't get me wrong, dude, I have a belief system. Do good when you can. If I have it, I will give the shirt off of my back to somebody to help them out. But, I'm also not a jerk off either. I've learned the hard way that you can only help a person so much, and you have to be careful not to be taken advantage of. But guys like that who look at you and say that you're not a real Christian because you don't believe in the exact same set of rules that he believes in, my general policy with Jill is also he can go screw himself. He is a horrible person in every respect. He feels the same about every Christian here who is friends with the atheists and all of them. Fuck that guy, man. Because you know what? I could easily make an argument that he has gotten bed with his own breed of devil. Wait, hold on. Feels the same way about every Christian here who is friends with the atheists. All of them actually try to help people. Like, I get Finoya is how you would say that? Or Fiona? I'm not sure. Terrible with names. She is the type who will give you the shirt off her back, too. Yeah, like, dude, it just, I think it's more about the type of person you are and not, I think it's silly that we separate ourselves in you need to believe in this, and this. And if any of those things are different, your view doesn't count. Or if you don't believe the same as I believe, then you're a terrible person. I don't necessarily think that's true. I think you should, I mean, try not to judge people, but unfortunately in life you have to. And what I mean by you have to make a judgment call. You know, if somebody is going to if you see a guy running down the street with a bloody knife, you don't necessarily want to continue walking towards that person in the same direction because there's a good chance they'll probably stab you too. I mean, maybe not. Maybe they just got done stabbing, I could talk, somebody in their house who tried to break in, and now they're running to try to go get help so that person doesn't die. But it's not really a chance you can take. I mean, but dudes like this, they give the entire thing a bad name. Like, dude, you are going exactly the opposite direction of what you're supposed to be believing in by judging everyone and telling them all that they're not as good as you because they don't believe exactly what you believe. It takes a very special kind of ego to do something like that. And, you know, I've gotten really frustrated with this dude yesterday because when we were having a conversation about this, he told us all to stick to what we know, like comic books or whatever it is, which I find hilarious that you would automatically go to comic books. If I stick to what I know, it's how much a gram of weed is on a scale and how much better 90s rap music is compared to whatever shit that is being put out today. You know, things like that. I don't really know much about anything that's really important other than to try to be a good person, help people when I can help them, and just try not to get fucked. That's all. It's really simple. I mean, try not to get fucked over. And you know, if I know that I tend to curse a lot. So that is offensive to you in any way, any of you guys. I apologize. It's just, you know, the way that I talk. But, you know, I don't understand it. I really don't get it. I could go in circles for a year and I can't connect the dots, man. Linda, read your Bible and understand what it is that you're talking about. I mean, why does that matter? I'm sure there's a story about Fiona that Drag tells when he talks about the trip they all took to me in New York, she gave money to every single person on the street who was homeless. Damn. That's a level above me, man. Just because every person, that's tough. I mean, she must have put money off to the side. Although this seems like the type of person that would just give regardless. Oh, stupid pop up. Get out of my face, dude. I'm trying to read. To make sure that they act. God. Oh, man. Really annoying. To make sure that they were helped, even if they weren't actually homeless. And no, it doesn't bother me. My husband. My husband knows how to curse. That's cool, though. I mean, at least you guys are loose in the sense that you're you're not you're not so strict with it. Like you can still be a little relaxed. I mean, that is a really genuine person to give to every person on the street. I mean, I've heard shitty stories from the podcast that I listen to. I know I made a reference to the Bonfire, Sirius XM show, in the first attempt at this stream that I made, but in the second one, the two guys, Jay Okerson, Dan Soder, both on Netflix right now. You can go look for them, find them. Dan Soder is on the stand-ups, I believe, on Netflix, and Jay Okerson is on the Degenerates. Both dudes are really funny, but they were talking about how when they both live in New York. That's where the studios are, and they had mentioned like when they first getting to the city and then living for a while and realizing everything is not really what it seems. Like when they first would get on the train and they would see somebody that was asking for money, they would automatically give to them because they're like, oh man, that really sucks that this person is in a really bad way, and I definitely want to help them out. And then they later find out that that person is just going to use that money to buy heroin or whatever it is because they see them, high later on in the day. So now before they even give, they make sure that they know, like they have a few people that they pass on the way going to the studio who actually are homeless, and they give to those dudes when they have the spare money on them. But other than that, they're very selective on who they give to now, just because they don't know if they're getting bullshitted or not. But okay, so Fiona is a very sweet woman and a good Christian as far as I am concerned. Jade, our late friend, was also like that. She would help anyone if they needed it. She was a major source of comfort for me. When, hold on. When my mother did what she did to me. Well, I don't understand. Did she pass away? Is that what happened? I miss her, we all do, except Jill and his cohorts at the CCP who hate anyone decent. He's got an army behind him? Jesus Christ, this is worse than I thought. Of course, that fucking asshole would have army. Wouldn't even say friends. Earlier in the year, that sucks, man. I just buried my cousin. I want to say last year, but he was in a motorcycle accident. Apparently, he misjudged the a turn on the parkway. Ironically, in Florida, he was training. I think it was with the Navy. I want to say, pretty sure he was training with down there, and he was bugging his parents for a while to get him a bike. They really didn't want to because of how dangerous it is. And they finally were like, "Oh, fuck it! You know, you're being responsible and you're doing everything else, and we're really proud of you. So we'll get you a bike." And not even 3 months after getting it, misjudges a turn on the turnpike right into the wall, and it was a wrap. And he was only 19. I mean, it is tough when you lose people. A couple of years ago was, I think, two now, maybe, or yeah, probably 2 years ago now. A girl that I went to high school with, who lived in the same building as my mom, just passed away from a heroin overdose, and she had 4 kids. That shit was rough, man. Because when I would go to my mom's apartment, she lives in a really old school, like when you think of a ghetto slumlord building, this is exactly one of those places. Everything is all fucked up. But when I would go in to see my mom, sometimes she would be sitting outside. She would be so high that she literally would be passed out with her head in between her legs for hours. And the cops have gotten so familiar with all of it that they just drive past. They don't even stop anymore. And the town that she lives in is literally 2 streets over. We're separated by, but I wouldn't call it an army. They're a bunch of moronic clowns who are kept together by their hate for everyone who isn't a monster. Remember earlier when Athena mentioned Jill being in G-Man's chat? Yeah, who the hell is G-Man? Why does he call himself that? I thought a G-Man, or no, I'm thinking of GI. Never mind. Thinking of them old school cartoons and action figures. G-Man harassed Jade up to and even after her death. What a scumbag. He still brings her up from time to time to be an asshole to her and to tell the rest of us how she's burning in a lake of fire for being a celibate lesbian, which, by the way, is not at all biblically accurate. Okay, a lot to unpack there. Let me just hit the cough button real fast. Okay, a lot to unpack there. So, he harassed this girl up to and even after her passing away, which I'm assuming that he trolls her social media and drops, a bunch of hateful things on there just because he can, and her being a celibate lesbian. Well, it's a shame that she's no longer around. I mean, not to be disrespectful to your friend, but celibate lesbian seems like an interesting concept. I mean, I can understand only because I don't know. Give me a second, I'll look for the playlist that tells you all you need to know about what he is. Okay, definitely. And celibate lesbian seems like an interesting concept only because I would imagine it wouldn't be the same as, I mean, the idea is the same for a gay person as it is for a straight person. But I don't know, man. It's just such a whole different world. What brought her up to that point? To be celibate? Or was she just somebody that chose to go down that road? Burning in a lake of fire? What a cunt. You had to be a real shitty fucking person to talk shit about somebody that's dead. And then worse off talking about how they're going to fucking burn in hell because of the choices that they made in life. Like, dude, who gives a shit? If a dude wants to get banged out a certain way by another dude, or if a woman is into another woman, that's their fucking business, bro. The hell do you care what they do? Honestly. I mean, I could even make the argument that you say that people are made by God's image, so didn't he make them that way? I mean, that might be a silly argument, but still, who cares? I didn't always have that opinion, though. I used to be a hater, too. My cousin is lesbian. She recently got married a couple of years ago, which is pretty awesome. I mean, we had suspicions when we were growing up, but at least she found somebody that she cares about. That's all that matters. And as far as like that, I used to be a hater, just in the sense that I've dated some really shitty people who thought it was cool to cheat with another girl or other dudes, like it wouldn't matter. And I don't roll like that, man. It's the same deal no matter what. Either you bring that person in and we make arrangements, or you leave it alone. Can't happen both ways. Okay. YouTube link. Here's the first video of him cursing me never to have children. Jesus. Hope his fucking dick falls off. Cursing me never to have children and telling my husband to leave me. Actually, the argument of everyone outside the CCP, her being a lesbian was God's will. Apparently, God wanted her that way. Yeah, exactly. So I would think. And not for nothing, man. There's a lot worse things you can be. You can be a rapist. You could be a murderer that's not in self-defense. You could be a serial killer. You could be a pedophile. There's a lot worse things you can be than attracted to the same sex. And I mean, I know that pedophilia is more like a sickness than anything. And I know you can get into merits of argument of how one is and one isn't a sickness, but I don't know, dude. It's not being attracted to a child and being attracted to somebody of the same sex is not even remotely close to the same thing. Now the question is, can I click on this and watch it without it messing up what we have going on here? Is it gonna bleed through? And if it does, is that okay for that to happen? Or is this something that I should save the link for and check out when I end this thing? I'm not sure. Well, you know what? Let's just click it and see what happens. Okay. Oh, this fuckface is in New Jersey? Bro. Okay, let me just say, first and foremost, apologies to everybody who got their first impression of New Jersey from this fucking psychopath. We all are crazy, but we're not assholes. Just want to say that. Sit in the room with heathens. He's still going? Oh my god, this dude. Alright, hold on. I gotta pause this shit, man. I gotta pause this for a second. Because I think that I fucked up and closed the chat. Which is not what I was trying to do. So now I have to figure out how I get it back. So just give me 1 second. This fucking dude, though, that's wild. That's wild to me. I don't know if it picked up on any of that or if it was just complete dead air, but holy shit, dude. That is insane. That you could even you would have the fucking balls to talk about another person like that. Just, it doesn't make sense. What fucking business is it of yours whether somebody has kids or not, or they can or they can't? Well, I think that I click on this. Alright, muted it. Now the chat thing. Top chat. Live chat. Here we go. Okay. Contains a lot of videos of his horrible behavior. We have documented on his behaviors on the channel. After that, I recommend the Apology Tour playlist. Is actually worse than the original videos of what he said about everyone. He also threatened to dox a woman whose family was Muslim because he thought they were the honor killing type of Muslim, and he wanted her father to know she was an atheist because he thought her father would kill her. Jesus Christ. He doesn't say it, but you can tell that is what he's intended by the way he keeps bringing up the fact that she's hiding it from her dad because he is a Muslim. Like, dude, come on, bro. Come on, dude. I don't even know. Hold on. What's this asshole's name? I had to go back and try to find it. Mirror? Is that his name? Listen, buddy. I know it's probably a good guess that if I mention your name like Candyman, you're going to appear. So I just a word of advice, Gary Moore. That's his name. Of course it is. Of course it would be. I don't know why that's bad. It just seems like two first names, almost. Whatever. Either way, Gary Moore. Listen, buddy. if you believe in God, that's fantastic. It really is. That's really good. Stacks barrels for a living. I'm in New Jersey right now. That's where I live too. I don't stack barrels though. Interesting job. But the same, man. Like, dude, listen. You're not doing anybody any favors, most of all yourself. You just come off like a fucking asshole. You do. You do. I know. Listen. Don't do that. Don't do that. I know you're probably screaming at your screen right now. Look, shh. It's okay. It's all right. If nobody has told you this in your life, I'm telling you now, because I'll be that person for you. I'll be that nice guy who tells you the way that it is. He works at a mob front. Oh my god. Hold on. Dude, you're killing me. Holy hell. That's amazing. I didn't even know there was still a thing, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm surprised that he would work around people in that type of environment and run his mouth like that. But dude, listen, seriously. It's you're not doing yourself any favors. You're not doing your religion any favors. I think Jesus would be kind of upset at the way that you're throwing beliefs around and scolding other people as if you have the right to judge anybody for the choices they make in life and what they do or don't do. Listen, man, if you want to hate on gay people, that's your that's your prerogative. But I just want you to know that it's been statistically proven that most people that hate gay people only hate them because they're gay themselves and they don't want to admit it. So, if for some reason maybe you feel that way and this is causing you to lash out, it's okay to be yourself. As long as you don't tell your Christian crusaders about it, because they probably won't be very happy. But you should really surround yourself with people who accept you for who you are and don't mind if you like to get a stabbing in your ass once in a while. You're not gonna believe me, but yeah, that's why he did it. He said that too. Look, I mean, honestly, I don't know. I don't know enough about those types of organizations in the area. I would imagine that would be more up north than I am. Because, like I said, I'm down the shore. If they are out here, I would have no idea. I live and I can say all these things. And when you listen back to this, what was your name? Gary? There's a million things that you can shoot out at me. I don't live a very spectacular life, but it's okay. I mean the gay thing. He's admitted that he's in the closet. So take your other rainbow colored shoe and step out of the closet, motherfucker. Be pretty and be who the fuck you are. Listen, bro. Listen, dude. You fucked over a lot of people, I'm sure, right? And you said a lot of terrible things to a lot of people. But if you came out of the closet, right, and you went to Sabella or the other person, I think that's German. That looks like it might be German. I don't know what that is. I'm sure you can read the chat. You're probably smart and figure that out. I'm sure if you went to these people and said, listen, dude, I'm sorry. I said a lot of terrible things to you because honestly, I wasn't being true to myself and who I really am because I enjoy men and I had to pretend that I didn't enjoy men because I felt like that's what my religion called for me to do. Like, you can still believe in Jesus and be a homosexual, man. You can do it. It's possible. It is German. It means Gary is a liar. I picked it because he cannot read German and he is a moron. Sadly, the only reason why I kind of recognized it as German is, well, one half is Jägermeister and the other half is Rammstein. Because Jen is really into that band. Gotta hit the bed though. I'll send the link to the gay video in the morning. For sure, do that. I should be wrapping this thing up soon. I don't even know what time it is. Damn, it's almost 2:30 in the morning. And I've been rambling on about nothing for a long time. But seriously, if I'm, you know what, this would be the perfect time to close this out. Is that Gary, man, it's okay to be gay. It's alright. There are people out there who are going to judge you. They're going to judge you. You know why? Because they're not happy people themselves. And fuck those people. Every single one of them. Every single one of them. Because it doesn't, what they think doesn't matter. It really doesn't. What's more important is that you learn to not be so venomous and hateful towards other people, because what you're doing by holding on to your religion and excluding anyone and everyone that you deem unfit to be worthy is you're missing out on a lot of good people, probably other cultures. You know, I don't know where you are on the race issue. I see that you obviously are a black dude. I don't know what friends you have. If you have a collection of different types of Christian friends, but I mean, you know, you can't you can't run around and do that, man. It's not healthy. I mean, well, let me just pull the video back up real quick. I mean, I'm just looking at you here, dude, and you have a really bright light on you, sitting in front of a flat screen. You look like you're sweating a lot. I mean, you're a mess, man. And look, I'm no better, dude. I'm no better. I'm really not. And the only difference between me and you is I'm not a cunt to a bunch of people for no reason. If I'm gonna be an asshole to somebody, it's gonna be because they've done something wrong to me. That would be the reason why I would do it. Not for the reasons that you were picking because it seems to be fun for you. You know, it's not good, man. It really isn't good. I mean, I've not heard of this guy up until now, but seriously, I should watch some of these videos later on or tomorrow. Because you know what, probably tomorrow, only because I don't want that kind of hate running around in my head before I try to go to sleep, because that's not healthy. But seriously, hold on. What is your name again? I already forgot. I have to go back over to the deal. Seriously, Gary, man, it's not good, dude. It's alright to be gay, man. It's 2018. There's plenty of guys that like cock nowadays, bro. It's perfectly normal. It's alright. Don't be mad. Just be you. I mean, shit. I am who I am. It's not a difficult thing to do, buddy. I'm sure that you can find people that'll accept you for who you are. And you don't have to jump into it right away. I'm not telling you to go hit the street and suck dick tomorrow. Work into it if that's what you have to do. But don't go talking about people that have passed away and talking about whether or not somebody can or cannot have children. That's not how it's not my place to talk about what you should do with your sexuality. It's not your place to talk about somebody's personal choices like that. So if you have any kind of an issue with anything that I've said, you know, feel free, dude. Come on over. We'll fucking we'll set up a time, dude. I you know I'll try to help you, man. Maybe we can work through this together as a people. You know, I'm not gay. I know plenty of gay dudes. Maybe I might be able to find you somebody really nice, man. You never know. I mean, like I said, I got gay people in my family. They're not that bad, you know, to be around. They're kind of cool people. I mean, I personally don't get down like that myself, but that by no means means that you shouldn't. Fuck, dude. Jesus, that's terrible. So, I don't know. Maybe I'll do another one of these tomorrow. Although I would not have any idea how the hell I would get it out to all the two of you who are watching. And I do appreciate that, by the way. This is, for those of you that don't know, this is only my technically first time doing this. So there's been a lot of bumps. Hopefully it will get better, but don't put your hopes up too high because it's probably not going to get too much better than what it is right now. So, with that being said, if you have a topic that you want to talk about, or videos that you think I should look over, or whatever, and you come across this thing, if you can leave a comment after it's posted, I mean, I'm sure if this works the way that regular YouTube does, definitely do that. Before I go drop in my Twitter handle, I'm gonna have to talk to my buddy Athena to make sure that whether or not that's a smart or a stupid thing to do, only because I don't want to get a bunch of spam thrown onto my fucking accounts. But I mean, yeah, man. You can find a way to you can find a way to reach me, Gary, man. Seriously, you need to do it for your fucking mental health, man. Seriously. It's not good for anybody involved. Ugh. Now see now you're gonna be in my head all night now, screaming at that television like a fucking manic person. Jesus Christ. And real quick, lastly, and not least, I would like to thank, let me go in the comments, Sabella Shepherd. I appreciate you for talking in the chat and hanging out. Obviously, Athena. There was one other dude in here. Where did he go? Was it the Pluto dog? Mr. Pluto dog who stopped by for a while. Appreciate that. And I think there was one other person. Oh shit. I can't even pronounce your name, dude. But the other person who is in here, thank you also for stopping by. Hopefully, it will go this well the next time. So I'm going to cut off the live feed right now. Gary, please go get help, man. Some part of me is rooting for you. Do better. Be better than you were. Be better tomorrow than you were yesterday, man. It doesn't even have to make sense. Get fucking help, please. At least for the people around you, for fuck's sake. Help them out. I mean, somebody was kind enough to bring you into the fucking world, man. Why you gotta make him regret it every single day that you walk the earth? See, that's not a nice thing to say. Just like that wasn't nice, the things that you were saying were not nice either. Don't do that. And then people like me, who don't even know you, wouldn't have to go saying wild shit about you like that. Anyway, I've rambled on for way too long. I'm cutting this live stream off. If anybody watches this, thank you in advance. Again, thank you to the people that were in the chat. Really cool talking to you guys. I'll be back around soon.